God, I love the vibes of this game, though. They're really doubling down on the, like, the spookiness of it. I can't remember who said it in particular, but there was an interview where one of the big Zelda people said something along the lines of that they thought this game was darker than Majora's Mask. Which, I remember when I read that, I just about creamed my pants on the spot. Because one of the fastest ways to get to my heart is a dark Zelda game. Ooh. Please. Are these like... They're like some kind of form of the moblins, but they're like enhanced? They kind of look like... Honestly, they kind of look like a small amount of Ganondorf was like infused into them. Because look at the design of them, and then look at the design that Ganondorf himself has. They kind of look like they've absorbed some of his essence on some level. Yeah, like they're radioactive. And what makes them radioactive is the malice of Ganon that they've absorbed. That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, look at the ground too. True.
Rise, rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule.
I think this is where the scientist tower, I can't remember what it's called right now, but this is where the two scientists were in Akala. Yeah. This is the tower on top of the village. Or Hatsuno, yes, you're right.
Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors.
Wait, I want to go back to that. I think this is the Great Plateau. This looks like the Great Plateau. Trying to see what's different. Other than, you know, it basically looking like it's been submerged into hell itself. Do I think this will be better than Breath of the Wild? I'm more excited for it than I was for Breath of the Wild. Dark Zelda, insert directly into my veins. Yeah, this is just the lizard enemies again. They look corrupted as well. I wonder if there's going to be like multiple steeds again, or if this is going to be more specifically like the way we did horses in Breath of the Wild, where you kind of just have access to a lot. And you can tame whichever you want. Or if this is a return for Epona or something. That'd be cool if she comes back. These look like the Guardian arms, but why are they just there? Is this like the underside of a Guardian built into where this is? That's kind of what it looks like. Like a Guardian is part of the floor, and upon activation with probably a Sheikah Slate or something else, this happens? Which Breath of the Wild trailer is the exciting one for you? How about this? We'll watch it together after this, okay? And yeah, the fact that they spent 6 years on this makes me really optimistic too. Think about this. Normally, whenever you reuse some assets, you're able to make a new game really fast, right? And yet, Breath of the Wild 2 took 6 years, despite reusing a lot of stuff from the same world. What that implies to me is that the amount of stuff they've added is stupid. This is going to have an absolutely absurd amount of content, and I am just so ready for it. Yeah, the old Breath of the Wild trailer, I literally cried the first time I saw it. And I'll put it on stream once we're done with this. Look at the big bokoblin there, like the ringleader. Yeah, this looks good. These enemies are back. Now this thing right here is very interesting to me. The grass? Yeah, the grass is really pretty. Yeah, look at that. Dude, look at this shot of Ganondorf. Wait, does he have like machines built into him? Or is he wearing that? I'm not entirely sure if he's wearing that or if he's like part machine in this game. This is sick. Dude, look! In that little shot, it looks like he's like lifting the castle itself. That is so cool looking. It's like he's using magic to lift the ground. Can I just say we don't even know if this is Ganon? I think it is. I think it's Ganondorf.
But Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him. Not sure you'll be...
Look at all this stuff in the sky. I think one of the ways that they said they were going to expand the world was they wanted to add a lot of stuff into the sky, but also a lot of stuff underground. So I think that's the way that they kind of use the same Breath of the Wild world, but expand upon it. Is instead of changing like the overworld like a crazy amount, they mostly focused on adding a lot of stuff above and a lot of stuff below. Like, look at all these areas up here. Something tells me there's going to be dungeons and stuff like that in some of these areas, you know? It might be something kind of along the lines of what we got with City in the Sky and Twilight Princess. Except on a far larger scale because there's just a lot of these places. And a lot of them look more natural, like collections of islands and things like that. And then there's this shit over here. It's just a straight up square. That one's definitely not natural. There's... Maybe it's kind of like God, what was the name of that island you could go to in the original Breath of the Wild? The really mysterious one that was a maze. It kind of reminds me of like an elevated version of that structure, honestly. It's kind of interesting.
Be able to stop him.
Also,
You'll be able to stop him.
I'm trying to get a better look at what's behind him. It kind of looks like a divine beast. Also, look at this right here. Look at these little capsules he has. What are those? He looks like he's got like a bunch of vials of something. Like right here on his belt. I'm not entirely sure what those are though. Maybe they're related to those new powers he gets? I don't know. Because I think some of the new powers he gets are, you know, related to him like absorbing some amount of malice from Ganondorf. And that's why he has all those markings on his chest, back, shoulders, and arms. Because one of his arms is basically just kaput now, along with the Master Sword. So now he kind of gets some random powers, but he also loses some stuff. Something like that, I don't know. Yeah, maybe something like this could be something kind of like a divine beast, or maybe a dungeon. I don't know. Okay, that one right there, that looks more like an island. Or maybe it's like a shrine in the sky, something like that. Also, what's this? This kind of looks like almost like a God. Well, I can't remember what it's called all of a sudden, but it almost looks like a flask right here. Not really sure. Okay, never mind. It's more like a coin purse. Never mind. Once I saw this angle. Ooh, look at this on the ground. That's that looks like some of the text you would see in the caves that would show a lot of the old story. If he canonically loses, low key, that would be really interesting, Anthran. Look at the angle on that. That homed in. So he has some kind of magic homing arrows? Interesting. Yeah, look, you can shield surf on rails. You can grind on rails with your shield. That's so sick. Yeah, this looks like somewhere higher in the mountain, like maybe around Death Mountain. That's kind of what it looks like. They're kind of just expanding this game by having a lot more areas in the air and also a lot of underground stuff, like where Ganondorf is and probably Zonai ruins and stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm imagining is. Like, obviously they're going to change the general state of the overworld we had in Breath of the Wild, but their focus is going to be on, you know, stuff more like this and stuff like the Zonai ruins and where Ganon is. That's probably where they're going to be putting stuff like dungeons, too, if I had to guess. Also, we're going to get to the big-ass hammer. That looks awesome. But it looks like there's going to be stuff you can interact with in the overworld. Like, some of these islands, you might be able to just straight up move. Oh my god, look at that. That looks like what you would use to activate a Sheikah Slate, except instead of the Sheikah Slate, you know, just being something that you insert the slate into, or like the podium, you would insert it into the podium and then it would come out after you were done interacting with it. Now it's almost like it just straight up attaches to it and then you can rip it out of the ground and do things with it. This literally looks like one of those Sheikah podiums, except you just yoink it out of the ground and now you can use it as like a projectile or a hammer. That's so cool. You can just launch magical stuff at them with it. Oh my god. It's like a bazooka! That's sick. Also, who is this? I'm not sure if this is meant to be Zelda. The fact that they don't show her face is kind of suspicious to me. Like, maybe it's not Zelda. It feels odd that they would cut off right before her face. Yeah, see? Like... Or maybe it is Zelda, but it's like old Zelda somehow? I guess that's possible. Her skin does look a little bit different. Or maybe her skin just looks a little bit different because she's like literally absorbing magic and she's like radiant right now. Because that has happened with characters in the past where even in Breath of the Wild, if she was kind of in a state where she was channeling a lot of magic, her skin would look a little different because she's basically radiating. So maybe it's like that. Or maybe it's Old Lady Zelda. There is a strong implication that there's going to be some kind of time travel mechanic with a lot of the stuff that it seems like you can interact with this game as both a Link closer to Breath of the Wild Link and also a different one. Because notice how in some of the trailers, Link almost looks like really rugged, like he's got the longer hair and he looks kind of disheveled. And then there's also seemingly regular Breath of the Wild Link at the same time. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of time travel mechanic. So, if that's the case, old lady Zelda is not inconceivable, you know? And that's also why some of the shots, like Link has the really mechanical arm, and then some of them he doesn't too. Like, look at this. That's Link's arm after it's been corrupted by what seems to be malice, and he becomes a lot more mechanical. There's the other state of Link where he's experiencing something kind of like what happens to Ashikaba and or Ashitaka in Princess Mononoke. Sorry, I haven't watched the movie in a while. But yeah, it seems like what happens to Link there is kind of similar to that. And then that's going to give him new powers. Like that, like see? That's not his normal hand. He just can use his corrupted malice hand to do other stuff. It's going to give him a lot of... Bro, how did I not even... I forgot about this part. He just straight up gets a car. That's sick. Well, it's almost more like a tractor, actually. That's still cool, though. Yeah, looks like you can rig up a hot balloon, too. This little vista overlooking Death Mountain and everything else, it's beautiful. And you can see some of those islands in the distance as well. Or like this one here. All of those. Oh, and so you can also use other vehicles too, kind of like this, where you can use this to fly around and get a much closer look and interact with a lot of these sky islands. Look, I think this is back to a regular Breath of the Wild Link. Look at his arm again. His right arm from this distance looks normal. So maybe when he's in his regular state, there's a lot more of the sky stuff. And then when he's in his other state, there's a lot more of the underground stuff. Maybe this is a state of Hyrule where there's a lot more in the air during this Link's time. And then during the other Link's time is when all the stuff with Ganondorf is going on, which is why he's corrupted. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it is a sleeve, so maybe it's covered. But it also explicitly wasn't covered in all those other shots, you know? Wait, what's that? What is this just casually falling from the sky? Are just little chunks of these islands going to be falling periodically? That's interesting. Fortnite loot. That looks sick. Is that like an arm of malice? And yeah, see, this is the form of Link that's corrupted. Like, look at his chest. He's like poisoned. And you can see it in his arm too.
Please, lend him your power.
Yeah, see, it's still his right arm, and you see how it almost looks like it's becoming brittle and just breaking apart. Also, I'm a big fan of the shorter hair Zelda, not gonna lie. God, I'm so excited for this game. There's some good-ass video games coming soon. We got a new Professor Layton, we got this. Today was a good day. This is the happiest I've been with a Nintendo Direct in a long time, honestly. This shit slaps. Oh, sorry about that. which was the Goosebump trailer. I think I lost my shit the most for the Layton one because of how surprised I was by it. Either way, I think that's going to be it for me today, guys. Tomorrow, we'll have more Persona 3 Portable. And the day after that, we're going to be playing Mario 64 and Smash. So, you guys have a good one, and yeah, see you around.